Devaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Welcome, dear devotees. We are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 2, chapter number 7, Scheduled Incarnations with Specific Functions. And today we will start from text number 8. So before we begin from text number 8, we'll do a quick couple of points recap. What did we discuss last time? If someone wants to unmute and mention.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, and with Brahms. So, Prabhu, yesterday we discussed text 4 to text 7. So, in the text 4, the pastime of Dattatreya, who is the son of Atri Muni, that was mentioned. And then you told about the 5 primary relations a devotee can have with the Lord and how the devotee wants to serve the Lord. So instead of coming as the son of the Lord, devotee wants to come as the father of the Lord so he can serve the Lord as well as he can. And then in the next verse, the incarnations of the 4 Kumaras were mentioned. So how after the end of the day of Brahma, all the knowledge was lost, and then the 4 Kumaras, they came, and being pure devotees, they had the knowledge, so they gave the knowledge back to the world. And in the sixth verse, the incarnations of Nar Narayana were mentioned, who are the twin incarnations. And in that one you mentioned that they came and taught about austerity, how to do austerity. And when they were doing austerity, then Indra, he sent celestial beauties to disturb the meditation, but Lord Narayana, they just smiled. Lord Narayana, from his thigh appeared many such apsaras, and the apsaras who had come to disturb the meditation, they were put to shame. So Lord showed how to do austerities in that one. And then in the 7th verse, it was about it's a general verse which says that how Lord Vishnu will never get angry, so he doesn't have any of those qualities like lust, anger. How Lord Shiva can get angry, and then in that you told the pastime of Bhrigu Muni, who was given the task of testing within the Trimurti, who's actually the Lord. So he tested Brahmaji and he tested Lord Shiva and Vishnu, and he reached the conclusion when he um, reached Lord Vishnu and kicked his chest, which was the most severe offense, because with Brahmaji just did not respect, offer obeisances, and with Shiva he just said some disgusting words. But Lord Vishnu, he actually kicked physically, but Lord Vishnu was, he was washing his feet and he was massaging his feet, and he was saying that, oh, your lotus-like feet have been hurt by my stone-like chest, like that. So Lord Vishnu is completely free from all vices. That's all I remember, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, then with pranams.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Wonderful recap. A very nice summary. Anyone else? One more point and then we'll begin.
Prabhu, one more point in the beginning was discussed, that how sun remains untangled despite giving sun rays to every nook and corner of the world or universe. Similarly, we should remain untangled from our material senses. They will take us everywhere. But how sun remains untangled, similarly, we should remain untangled from that.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, the divine couple. All right, let's start with text number 8.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Srimad Bhagavatam 2.7.8. Viktaha sapatne uditapate bherantiragno balope sannupagatastapasevanani tasma atadruvagatim granate prasanno divyaha stuvanti manayo yad uparyadastat. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Being insulted by sharp words spoken by the co-wife of the king, even in his presence, Prince Dhruva, though only a boy, took to severe penances in the forest. And the Lord, being satisfied by his prayer, awarded him the Dhruva planet, which is worshipped by great sages both upward and downward. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So here, Dhruv Maharaj story comes. So we have discussed from the beginning of this chapter, starting from Varaha Avtara, then Suyagya Avatar, Lord Kapila, incarnation of Lord Dattatreya, we discussed, the four Kumaras, the four Sanas, we discussed, and Narayan Rishi, Narayan pastime, which is in Badrika Ashram. So Narayan Rishi pastime also we discussed, and now Dhruv Maharaj comes. How does Dhruv Maharaj comes? Why is Dhruv Maharaj incarnation of Lord? Who would like to say the reason why Dhruv Maharaj pastime comes in the incarnations mentioned in the list? We are going, Varaha, Suyagya, Lord Kapila, Dattatreya, four Kumara, Narayan Rishi. And then in the future also, Matsya Avatar comes, Rishabdev comes. Good question. Would you like to know? Yeah, that's what as soon as I read this verse, and I said, Dhruv Maharaj is not incarnation of Lord, and how come Dhruv Maharaj story is mentioned? And even in the translation, if you read it 10 times, no incarnation of the Lord in the name or anything is mentioned. So we can discuss this verse in three different ways. We can discuss in a theoretical way. We can discuss this pastime or this particular verse of Srimad Bhagavatam in a technical way. And we can learn in a practical way also. The first one is theoretical way, which is story. We look at the context, what is the story about Dhruv Maharaj, which most of us know. So that is a theoretical way. Technical is like what I am asking the question, how come Dhruv Maharaj pastime is coming? What are the details? What is the we go like Pad Arth Avlokan. We go into the nitty-gritties detailed of this verse. And then we come to the practical learning points. That is the mood of Srila Prabhupada in the purport. So which one of you would you like? Theoretical, technical, or practical? Dhruv Maharaj pastimes, many chapters. It can be discussed in temple. They discuss for 6 months, one by one verses. Each verse 1 hour. But here, with the interest of time, you tell me, theoretical, technical, or practical? Storyline, go into the details, or learning points?
Prabhu, we are not in hurry for anything. I think so. We'll like to know all of the ways. You can decide, the content part, but we would like to know all the parts, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Story we all know though, but yes, we will like to know everything. Thank you, Prabhu.
One very good quality of Haruna Mataji I like is Mataji is not number conscious. इतने वर्ष खत्म किए, we need to do, or not time conscious कि फटाफट खत्म करना है. We want to relish Srimad Bhagavatam. Instead of being number conscious, we want to be Krishna consciousness. Our mind में, especially in this Purushottam month, especially when we are discussing these pastimes, we should be absorbed in Krishna, not absorbed in number of pages or number of chapters or how many slokas we are doing. So thank you so much for enlightening me and giving me a chance for purification. So let's discuss all the three aspects of this Dhruv Maharaj pastime. The first one is the theoretical, that means the story, which most of us know, that how King Uttanapad, the two wives, Suruchi and Sunuti, they were there once upon a time. Suruchi's son, Uttama, he was sitting on the lap of King Uttanapad on the throne. And Dhruv Maharaj looked at that scene, that Uttama, the son, 5-year-old boy. So the Uttama is sitting, he's the Suruchi's son, on the lap of his father. So Dhruva, the 5-year-old boy, he was the other wife, Suniti's son. And he also wanted to sit on King Uttanapad's lap. So he is going to sit on the lap. And at that time, Suruchi, the younger wife of King Uttanapad, stops. Stop, Dhruva! You can't sit there. You are not eligible. If you want to sit there, you have to take birth from my womb. Yes, King Uttanapad is your father, but you don't have the right to sit on his lap, or you don't have the right to sit on his throne. That's how the harsh words Ruchi spoke. And at that time, she said that if you want to go and sit there, you have to take birth from my womb. And for that, you have to do lot of austerities. You have to do tapasya to that Supreme Lord. And when that Supreme Lord is pleased by your tapasya, you can take the birth from my womb. And then you can go and sit on that throne or on the lap of your father. Very harsh words from the Suruchi, the other wife of King Uttanapad, and towards the 5-year-old boy. He was insulted, he was rejected, and even more harsh was that King Uttanapad didn't speak anything. And Dhruv Maharaj was completely, Dhruva, the 5-year-old boy, he was completely shattered. He was disturbed because he was insulted, he was rejected. And then he goes crying to his mother, Suniti. And when she comes to know of what has happened, Suniti, she was also shattered. She was crying. But she says that what Suruchi has said, it's true. The king does not accept Suniti as her wife. He is ashamed. Suniti mentions that what to talk about wife. The king, doesn't even consider me as the maid servant. And it is true. He doesn't like me, and that's why the words. I mean, a beautiful pastime comes. Suniti mentions that do not think bad about others. Even if she has said, don't think bad, because if you think bad, it will come back to you, and the bad will happen in your life. So don't think about suffering of any living entity. She gives a beautiful lesson, and she says, yes, but if you want to achieve that, you can go to the forest and you can meditate, do severe tapasya to please the Lord. And that was the instruction given by Suruchi, and now Suniti as well, the mother of Dhruva. And because he was disturbed and he was hurt, he decides to go into the forest and he meditates. In the journey, he meets Narad Muni. Narad Muni tells him that यू आर ए 5-year-old बॉय, अभी तो खेलने का समय है, वापस जाओ, खेलो कूदो, एंजॉय करो. ये मान अपमान ये सब जरूरी नहीं है, इसके बारे में सोचना. अभी तुम सिर्फ 5 साल के हो और जंगलों में तो इतने सारे जानवर रहेंगे. What will you eat? You don't know where will you live, how will you eat. There are so many wild animals. Go back and you don't worry about this insult, respect, disrespect, all these things. Dhruv Maharaj says, Dhruva, the 5-year-old boy says, what you are speaking is true. I understand. But that is on a Brahminical level. I am a Kshatriya and I am very much disturbed. I am insulted. I am rejected. My mind is disturbed and I can't go back. I want to achieve what my goal and ambition is. I will go for that. When Narad Muni hears that, he instructs him of the mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. He says, you start chanting this mantra, you make a deity of Vishnu, and then you offer from the forest, you offer some leaf or fruits or whatever you find in the forest, and he gives him the Ashtanga Yoga process to meditate for, and blesses him. So that's when Dhruv Maharaj goes and he starts. Narad Muni leaves the place. Dhruv Maharaj goes to the forest and he continues starting doing Ashtanga Yoga. And very beautiful how severe tapasya Dhruv Maharaj does. It is mentioned in the next canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. We will see in detail that how initially in the first month he eats only some berries or fruits from every 3 days. Then he eats, second month he eats only dry grasses. And Narad Muni said to him, go to the Madhuvan, sit on the bank of the river Yamuna, and exact place, everything is mentioned. So Dhruv Maharaj goes, first month only fruit, second only dry grass, third month only drinking water from river Yamuna, then controlling his breath. He was taking breath like only once in a 9 days or something like that is mentioned. Very severe austerity. And after that 6 months of severe austerity, tapasya, when he's fully meditating, he has the darshan of Lord. And at that time, Lord appears, and you know the pastime. He says, I was looking, मैं तो ढूंढ रहा था टूटे कांच के टुकड़े, but I have found the jewel of your association. अनमोल रत्न मुझे मिल गया है. The offers Dhruv Maharaj gives the prayers, and then Lord blesses Dhruv Maharaj. Dhruv Maharaj says, now I don't have any material desire after having your darshan. But Lord reciprocates. He says, because you have a desire, I suggest you go back. When your father retires, you will rule for 30,000 years, and after that I am giving you Dhruva Loka, Dhruv planet. Even though Dhruv planet, it is in material world, but it is not part of the material world. It is a spiritual planet, Vaikuntha planet, Dhruva Loka. It does, all the planets revolve and move around, but Dhruva Loka, that planet pole star, it doesn't move. It stays. And even when annihilation happens, the pralaya happens, whole material planets will be annihilated, the creation will be annihilated, but that Dhruv Loka, that planet will not be. So Lord gives him, because he had a desire. I want a kingdom bigger than my father, bigger than Brahma, bigger than my great grandfather. I want, and that was his desire. So Lord reciprocates, even though he didn't had any desire. So we saw. Now, why this Dhruv Maharaj pastime is mentioned here is, we go, so theoretical storyline we know. Let's go on the technical side. Technical, maybe we'll go into the details. The reason why this Dhruv Maharaj pastime is mentioned is when Lord appeared in front of Dhruva. That form of the Prabhupada mentions in the purport. He was the Prishni Garbha. The last paragraph, if you read, the Lord incarnated himself as Prishni Garbha, just to satisfy the pure devotee of the Lord, Prince Dhruva. And why it is mentioned Prishni Garbha? Anyone knows where else in Srimad Bhagavatam Prishni Garbha is mentioned? So that specific incarnation, Lord takes the appearance, incarnation for a 5-year-old boy. Can we just imagine, for a 5-year boy, Dhruva, Lord takes a specific function, incarnation as Prishni Garbha, and gives. In the 10th canto, 3rd chapter, from text 33 to 43, in those 10, this Prishni Garbha is again mentioned. When Krishna appears as Devaki and Vasudeva in the jail of Mathura, when Krishna appears, at that time, Lord Krishna tells them that this is not the first time you are having me. You had me as your son before also. In the Swayambhuva millennium, in the beginning of the creation, when Brahma, so Devaki and Vasudeva his name was Sutapa, and Devaki's name was Prishni. So Prishni and Sutapa, in the beginning of the millennium, Swayambhuva Manvantara, at that time, Prishni and Sutapa was a Prajapati. Lord Brahma instructed, abhi creation ho gaya hai, living entities, pura creation ko flood karna hai, living entities, se become the Prajapati. So at that time, Brahma instructed Sutapa and Prishni to become Prajapati and populate the world. So Sutapa, who was Vasudeva in the future, so Sutapa and Prishni, they did severe austerity. They started controlling air, this yoga, tapasya, severe. And if you read the descriptions there in the 10th canto, 3rd chapter, 33, 34, 35 verse, the austerity this Prishni and Sutapa performed is very much similar to the austerities what Dhruva Maharaj performed in this particular pastime. And because of that, what were their prayers? Prishni and Sutapa का prayer था कि I want someone, child, मुझे भगवान आपके जैसा ही कोई son चाहिए, and I want to serve. Because the task given by Brahma was to have a son and start populating. And so they were, after all this tapasya and austerity, they were praying कि, if we have to have a son, then we want, Lord, someone like you, as आपके जैसा कोई चाहिए. Now, Bhagwan se equal kaun hai? If you see Krishna book yesterday, our Mataji's group in Bhakti Vriksha, in the preface only, it is mentioned, no one is equal to and no one is above the Lord. भगवान के समान और भगवान के ऊपर कोई नहीं हो सकता, पॉसिबल ही नहीं. And the prayers of Sutapa and Prishni was, I want someone, मुझे आपके जैसा ही कोई चाहिए. So, Lord appears as उनका नाम Prishni था, उसके womb में, embryo में आता है. So that's why Lord appears in Prishni Garbha form. And that, because of that austerity, because of that tapasya, at that time, Lord appears in the Prishni Garbha, and Lord is known as Prishni Garbha. After that, also, Lord mentions that he comes as son of Kashyapa and Aditi. And they are also Vasudeva and Devaki. They come, Lord appears as Vamandev, the dwarf Brahmana. Vamandev Lord appears. And that is also Krishna mentions in 10th canto, 3rd chapter, about 38, 39, 40 verses. And after that, Lord says that this is the 3rd time I am appearing, Devaki and Vasudeva. Because you have the desire of having me as your son. and you want to serve me in this Vatsalya Bhav, so I am appearing this third time. But this time I am appearing as myself in my original form. And that's why, this is all mentioned. So if we come back, the reason why Dhruv Maharaj pastime comes in the incarnation is because Lord took that specific incarnation as Prishni Garbha, and Lord, that Dhruv Maharaj jinka darshan kiya tha, that was a specific Prishni Garbha incarnation of the Lord, and that is why it is mentioned in this particular list of incarnations. Now we know the story, we know the technical details why it was mentioned as well, and then we can go to the practical learning points of these pastimes. So many, we can write an essay, more than 101 learning points, practical applications from this pastime, but with the interest of time we can see the couple of them. The first one, Suruchi spoke very harsh words to Dhruva. It was insulting. He felt rejected. He was hurt very badly, emotionally, fully distressed. He was rejected by his father. But the words of Suruchi, that you need to please that Supreme Lord if you want the blessings. So we understand from this that sometime the spiritual life, the beginning is by the pain. If there is a pain, if there is some harsh words, if something wrong happens, the pain can become the beginning in spiritual life. Now, second point we learn from this is, how did Narad Muni appeared? Dhruv Maharaj, 5-year-old boy, he is going just to the forest because he was, अभी छोटा बच्चा है, रोते रोते किसी ने कुछ बोल दिया, जा रहा है घर से छोड़ के ऐसे जंगल में जा रहा है. But how did Narad Muni appeared? What was the reason for Narad Muni to come, and how it was even possible for Narad Muni? Anyone would like to say? Any guesses? How did Narad Muni come? Or someone has read the purport. Prabhupada mentions that point very nicely. Yes.
Prabhu, I haven't read the purport, but I'm just trying. So Narad Muni wanted to test, like a spiritual master always will test a devotee, or like a student. That is why he appeared, and he wanted him as a student, of course, because he knew already that Dhruva is going to achieve Krishna.
Yes, what you said is correct, that Narad Muni wanted to taste. But Howard, Prabhupada mentions even before that, that as a possibility कैसे है कि नारद मुनि इधर आ गए,
तो
and then
भगवान
Prabhupada, huh? Yes, Prabhupada.
हृदय में भगवान है ना, तो when we have sincere desire, then Lord sends guru ना.
Very good, correct. That is what exactly Prabhupada is mentioning. When the determination is strong, अगर कोई दृढ़ निश्चय लेते हैं कि मुझे भगवान को प्राप्त ही करना है, प्राप्त, I want, when someone takes that strong determination, Lord sends pure devotee to guide that person. If you see the last purport of Prabhupada writes, a serious personality can thus achieve the highest perfection of meeting the Lord. सबसे highest perfection of meeting the Lord, it will be possible when he is guided by a pure devotee. And that's why when someone takes a determination, guidance चाहिए. So Lord sends Guru, and that Guru, Prabhupada writes, who automatically approaches by the dints of one's serious determination. But when one is serious in bhakti, when one is determined in bhakti, by all means, Lord will send that guru or guide in that person's life. हमारे अभी आजकल के जमाने में क्या हो रहा है, एवरीथिंग इज DIY, डू इट योरसेल्फ. अगर कोई कैबिनेट लाते हैं तो खुद बनाओ, कुछ भी करना है DIY, डू इट योरसेल्फ. बट इन भक्ति we can't do it by ourselves. We need to have a guru. प्रैक्टिकली भी देखो, स्कूल में जाते हैं, ABCD सीखने के लिए भी गुरु चाहिए, चलने के लिए भी किसी का हाथ पकड़ के चलते हैं, साइकिल चलाने के लिए भी किसी का ड्राइविंग इंस्ट्रक्टर ऑल्सो वी हैव. What about getting into spirituality, progressing in bhakti? We need a guru. And for that, when someone is determined, when someone has a strong faith and the determination, one is serious, Prabhupada writes, Lord automatically sends one guru in that way. Another learning point from this Dhruv Maharaj pastime is, when as Dhruv Maharaj did, first month fruits, second month dry grass, third month Yamuna water, then only on air. As a one by one, step by step progress is very much essential in devotee's life. कई बार भक्ति वृक्षा में भी हमें होता है, लोग आते हैं और पहले ही दिन से 16 राउंड में करूंगा, आज से मैं ये करूंगी, वो करूंगा. People start, they jump. We need to understand that sudden jump, sudden increase in our number of rounds. मैं आज के बाद रोज मंगला सुबह आऊंगा. That doesn't work. We have to do step by step. What we recommend in our groups, whoever is coming to my Bhakti Vriksha, we said, 1 round every Ekadashi, 2 rounds every 15 days. That's how you slowly become stable at one platform. Then another 15 days, you increase 2 rounds. Then another, you increase 2 rounds. And that's how, with the gradual increase, you come to the 16 rounds. And then when it comes to offering prasadam, coming to the temples, maybe start coming once a week, start coming twice a week. And that way you can increase little bit. So we understand the progress in bhakti must be gradual, because that ensures the stability. Otherwise कोई एकदम से 16 करता है तो एकदम से 0 पे भी आ सकता है. Some people, yes, they are very fortunate, they are very determined, and they can do it. But gradual, step by step increase and progress in bhakti is very essential. All right. My wife said, you will finish half an hour in a Dhruva Maharaj pastime. I said, I can finish 2 years in Dhruva Maharaj pastimes. Itna kuch hai Dhruva Maharaj pastime. Let's do one more, text number 9, unless you want to share something. Prithu Maharaj pastime comes now. It is also a big story. Kya karo? Should we do it or should we stop? You have any comments? Okay, my wife is instructing, do it. Okay, let's do text number 9.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Dandavat pranam to all. Yadvenamutpathagatam dvijavakya nishplushto paurusha bhagam niraye patantam tratvarthito jagati putra padam chalebhe dugda vasuni vasudha sakalani yena. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Maharaj Veena went astray from the path of righteousness, and the Brahmanas chastised him by the thunderbolt curse. By this, King Vena was burned with his good deeds and opulence, and was enrolled to hell. The Lord, by his causeless mercy, descended as his son, by the name of Prithu, delivered the condemned King Vena from hell, and exploited the earth by drawing all kinds of crops as produce. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Very nice Sanskrit recitation, Mataji. मेरा जब last moment आएगा, please recite like this Sanskrit mantras, and I desire to leave the body. Anirin Prabhu, आप भागवत कथा करना, Mataji आप Sanskrit recitation करना, and then I will go back to Godhead by your prayers. So here, Maharaj Vena and the Prithu Maharaj incarnation is coming in the discussion. We see in the lineage of Dhruv Maharaj, there was once a king Anga. King Anga comes in the lineage dynasty of Dhruv Maharaj. And he was very good king, very pious king, ruling very nicely. And Raja Anga, King Anga, he said, he was ruling nicely, sab kuch tha, but he did not have a son. Because of something in the previous life, some karma of that, he was not having a son. And once upon a time, he asked this... he's engaged in a sacrifice, yajna karte hain, and where all these brahmanas, priest, all the ingredients is perfect, the space is perfect, the brahmanas are chanting the Sanskrit mantras, everything nicely, but no demigods are coming. Remember, we discussed how demigods, they were coming in the yajnas and participating. At that time, King Anga, when he was performing this sacrifice, no one was coming, no demigods, no devi devtas were coming. So King Anga is asking to these brahmanas कि ऐसा क्या हो गया है, मेरे से कुछ गलती हो गई, have I done something wrong, why these devi devtas are not appearing in the yajna? And the brahmanas, they look and King Anga and they replies that, dear king, what to speak about doing something wrong? You haven't even thought about anything wrong for anyone in your mind. आपने आज तक किसी के बारे में गलत सोचा भी नहीं है, करने की बात तो दूर है. And but still no one is coming. Then the brahmanas, they recommend, हम एक काम करते हैं, हम डायरेक्ट सुप्रीम लॉर्ड को ही हम बुलाते हैं यज्ञ में. We will start doing the prayers so that we will invite the supreme lord directly to yajna, and when supreme lord comes, all devi devta follows. So let's do that. And so they start offering prayers to invite the Supreme Lord. And the yajna, because King Anga did not had any son, so what happens from that yajna or that sacrifice, when they start offering prayers, one personality appears from that yajna kund. He was wearing a white cloth, sweat it is mentioned, and he had a bowl, golden bowl. In that there was a sweet rice, kheer hota hai, and that appears. So as a blessings from that yajna, King Anga takes that bowl of his sweet rice. He gives that bowl, the kheer, to his wife, Sunita. Her name was Sunita. He gives to that kheer to that wife, and after having union, the wife gives birth to Maharaj. Here it says Vena. So the first word, if you say that boy is born Vena, but that boy, and there is another pastime how Sunita was daughter of Mrityu, and then the child gets the mother's quality. All these details is there, but that child Vena, very small boy, but he was very क्रूर था वो बहुत ही। जब छोटा था, जब बो एंड एरो सीख रहा था, लेकिन जंगलों में जाके जानवर को मार रहा था, डियर, इनोसेंट डियर्स को ऐसे ही बो एंड एरो से मार रहा था वो। एंड खेल खेल में, छोटा था, बच्चों के साथ खेल खेल में किसी के साथ कुछ हो गया, उसको मार देता था। ही वॉज किलिंग इन द फ्रेंड्स, टू द फ्रेंड्स while playing also। इतना क्रूर था, he was very very cruel। And Maharaj Anga, he tried so much to train him, to punish him, to guide him, उसको सीधा करने के लिए बहुत कुछ प्रयत्न किया, लेकिन this Maharaj Veena was not even listening to him. He was not, punishment का भी कुछ उस असर नहीं हो रहा था. He was not getting corrected. So the story goes, and then Maharaj Anga, he starts praying कि कितने lucky है जिनका बच्चा नहीं होता. They don't have the difficulty to deal with the children like this, bad cruel children like this. So he starts praying, and because he is devotee of the Lord, Maharaj Anga was a very pure devotee, so he understands this is the Lord's way to make me detached from this otherwise, if the child is nice, family is nice, they become attached to everything. So Maharaj Anga, he takes this opportunity and he leaves the kingdom. He becomes detached because son is like this, and what is happening, he became detached from everything, and he goes to the forest and meditate, and he want to absorb completely in the Supreme Lord, and he wanted to timely retirement. He wanted to leave the body like that. Now what happened, Maharaj Anga left, और कोई है नहीं राज्य में, कोई राजा नहीं। अगर कोई राजा नहीं होता, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल इन द कंट्री, इफ देयर इज नो पुलिस, नो गवर्नमेंट, और नो वन टू टेक केयर, द थीव्स एंड रोग्स विल फ्लरिश, चोर डाकू सब, क्योंकि कोई है ही नहीं कंट्रोल करने वाला। तो ब्राह्मणास, दे एस्टैब्लिश्ड महाराज वेना ओनली as the king, because there was no other king. Maharaj, the brahmanas established him. बट क्या होता है, जब डिवोटी कोई पावर को पोजीशन मिलता है तो हम्बल बन जाता है, they take it with humility. But a non devotee or a materialistic person with material ambitions and desires, they become in the power, they become proud. So Maharaj Vena, when he got this power, he started doing all the nonsense things. And what happened, the biggest problem he created was he stopped all the spiritual activities. सारे यज्ञ बंद करवा दिए, सारे दान दक्षिणा बंद करवा दिए, सारे ब्राह्मणास को सबका वो बंद करके परेशान कर दिया उन्होंने. Now the brahmanas, they had to establish someone as a king, but when they realized this is going in a very bad way, they tried to consult him. बहुत प्यार से अच्छे से समझाया ब्राह्मणस ने महाराज वेना को कि ऐसा नहीं करो, this is not right, but he didn't understood. So just by the chanting of mantras, brahmanas had so much of pure vibration, power in their chanting. Just by mantras they finished Maharaj Vena, because he was not listening. And he was, now Maharaj Vena, because he was not a righteous king, Bhumi Devi kya karti hai? Mother Earth, Bhumi Devi, she stops producing all the grains, vegetables, fruits and everything, because it was not used for the right purpose. Sacrifice ke liye, अच्छे काम के लिए, fruits, grains, they were not used. So that's why Bhumi Devi stopped producing. Now, when there was no king, King Anga went to the forest. Maharaj Vena, the Brahmanas killed him by the power of the mantras, and there is no one. But this is all Maharaj Vena, King Anga, they are all coming from the lineage of Dhruv Maharaj. And that lineage is very pure. That must be retained. So what Brahmanas are doing, they try to churn the thighs of Maharaj Vena. From that, a small, like a crow-like personality comes who has absorbed all the sins of Maharaj Vena. And then the Brahmanas try to arms. They try to churn the arms of Maharaj Vena. And from there, two personalities come. Prithu, this Prithu Maharaj comes, and Archi, one male, one female. Prithu Maharaj and Archi appears from the arms of Maharaj Vena. And this Prithu Maharaj, and this is what is mentioned here. If you read the translation again, this Prithu, that incarnation of the Lord which appears, and that was a specific purpose to establish, righteousness in the society. लेकिन जब पृथु महाराज appear होते हैं उस time पे क्या होता है? This Bhumi Devi is not producing any grains, and Prithu Maharaj realizes that the people are working hard to produce grains. They are nice, but Bhumi Devi is not. So immediately Prithu Maharaj is getting angry on Prithvi, this Bhumi Devi. And the story comes, he's chasing with a bow and arrow and he wanted to kill. But then Bhumi Devi explains कि ब्रह्मा जी ने ये सारा सृष्टि का क्रिएशन किया है, ये सारा fruits and grains है, that is all for so that people use in the service of the Lord. But Maharaj Vena was not using it properly, and that's why I have to stop the produce of grains and everything. And when that is a discussion happening between Prithu and Bhumi Devi. And जब वो discussion होता है, then Bhumi Devi also tells that now again with the power of prayers by this Brahmana, all the vegetations can be revived and the whole world will flourish now. And when this discussion happening, Bhumi Devi is praying and showing the way. पृथु महाराज के मन में भूमि देवी के लिए एक डॉटर का भाव जागृत होता है, एंड ही लुक्स एट भूमि देवी एज अ डॉटर, एंड दैट्स व्हाई दिस अर्थ और दिस भूमि is called Prithvi, because from Prithu Maharaj as a daughter's affection it is called a Prithvi. And then that specific incarnation Prithu Maharaj is also mentioned here in text number 9. What is the learning point for us? Prabhupada mentions in the purport, very nice, that Maharaj Vena के पास सब कुछ था, long life था, obedience था, righteousness उसको मिला था, पूरा राज्य मिला था, reputation, position भी मिला था, prospects of being promoted to higher planet, blessings of the great personality because he had a chance coming in the great lineage, everything was there. But when one should strictly try to follow the footsteps of the souls, Maharaj Vena, undoubtedly, because of his past deeds of righteousness, he took birth, he got that position, but he neglected great souls. उन्होंने क्या किया? ब्राह्मण का अपमान किया, स्पिरिचुअल वेलफेयर एक्टिविटी बंद करवा दिया, एंड दैट्स व्हाई ही वाज पनिश्ड बाय द, उसका जो भी गुड लिनिएज था, पोजीशन था, पावर था, सब कुछ था, सब चला गया. सो प्रभुपाद मेंशंस दैट इन द पर्पट. व्हेन वी रीड, Prabhupada writes that when someone neglects the great soul, कोई ब्राह्मण का, डिवोटी का, वैष्णव का अपराध कर देता, then he will be punished and everything, all the opulences will be taken by us. So we also in our life, we have got some opportunity. We also have this amazing opportunity to come and stay in the association of devotees, read Srimad Bhagavatam, but we have to be very careful how we deal with the Brahmanas, how we deal with the other devotees. Our dealings in Vaishnav Sadachar is very important. I have a course, Vaishnav Sadachar course, slideshows. Hopefully one day we can do it. Yes, we'll stop at text number 9. See, these pastimes, I'm so sorry, devotees, my limit is, and you have noticed this, first canto, third chapter, one pastime, I do one class. I just can't. There are other groups, if you want, you can go online. They can do 10 verses in half an hour. They can do 20 verses in half an hour. I can't. I'm so sorry. Yes, we'll stop at text number 9, start text number 10. Rishabdev pastime comes. Then Matsya pastime comes. Hayagiv pastime comes. Krishna. Maza aayega. Chalo. Thank you so much. Anirudh Prabhu, you have a question. Can we talk personally or can we do it tomorrow? Time is up.
Yes, Prabhu.
You can call me if you need to.
Yeah.
Thank you, dear devotees. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.